Jacob Lemaire. Jacob Lemaire, circa 1585, Antwerp or Amsterdam, December 22, 1616, at sea, was a Dutch mariner who circumnavigated the earth in 1615 and 1616. The strait between Tierra del Fuego and Isla de los Estados was named the Maire Strait in his honor, though not without controversy. It was Lemaire himself who proposed to the council aboard Eendracht that the new passage should be called by his name, and the council unanimously agreed with Lemaire. The author or authors of the relation took Eendracht Captain Schouten's side by proclaiming, "Eendracht then rounded Cape Horn, proving that Tierra del Fuego was not a continent." Biography. Jacob Lemaire was one of 22 children of Maria Walraven of Antwerp and Isaac Lemaire, 1558 to 1624, of Tierra, who was then already a prosperous merchant in Antwerp. Isaac and Maria married shortly before the Spanish siege of Antwerp in 1585, after which they fled to settle in Amsterdam. Jacob is thought to have been the oldest son, born perhaps the same year. Isaac was very successful in Amsterdam, and became one of the founders of the Dutch East Indies Company, VOC. However, in 1605 Isaac Lemaire was forced to leave the company after a dispute, and for the next decade tried to break the company's monopoly on the trade to the East Indies. By 1615 Isaac had established a new company, the Australian Company, with the goal to find a new route to the Pacific and the Spice Islands, thereby evading the restrictions of the VOC. He contributed to the outfitting of 2 ships, the Eendracht and Horn, and put his son Jacob in charge of trading during the expedition. The experienced shipmaster Willem Schouten was captain of the Eendracht and a participant of the enterprise in equal shares with Isaac Lemaire. On June 14, 1615 Jacob Lemaire and Willem Schouten sailed from Texel in the United Provinces. On January 29, 1616 they rounded Cape Horn, which they named for the Horn, which was lost in a fire. The Dutch city of Horn was also the birthplace of Schouten. After failing to moor at the Juan Fernandez Islands in early March, the ships crossed the Pacific in a fairly straight line, visiting several of the Tuamotus. Between 21 and April 24, 1616 they were the first Westerners to visit the northern Tonga Islands, Cocos Island, Tafahi, Traders Island, Niuatapitapa, and Island of Good Hope, Niuafu. On 28 April they discovered the Horn Islands, Futuna and Alofi, where they were very well received and stayed until 12 May. They then followed the north coasts of New Ireland and New Guinea and visited adjacent islands, including, on 24 July, what became known as the Schouten Islands. They reached the northern Moluccas in August and finally Ternate, the headquarters of the VOC, on September 12, 1616. Here they were enthusiastically welcomed by Governor-General Lawrence Riel, Admiral Stephen Verhagen, and the Governor of Ombon, Jasper Jantz. The Eendracht sailed on to Java and reached Batavia on 28 October with a remarkable 84 of the original 87 crew members of both ships on board. Although they had opened an unknown route, Jan Peter Schouten of the VOC claimed infringement of its monopoly of trade to the Spice Islands. Lemaire and Schouten were arrested and the Eendracht was confiscated. After being released, they returned from Batavia to Amsterdam in the company of Joris van Spilbergen, who was on a circumnavigation of the Earth himself, be it via the traditional Strait of Magellan. Lemaire was aboard the ship Amsterdam on this journey home, but died en route. Van Spilbergen was at his deathbed and took Lemaire's report of his trip, which he included in his book Mirror of the East and West Indies. The rest of the crew arrived in the Netherlands on July 1, 1617, 2 years and 17 days after they departed. Jacob's father Isaac challenged the confiscation and the conclusion of the VOC, but it took him until 1622 until a court ruled in his favor. He was awarded £64,000 and retrieved his son's diaries, which he then published as well, and his company was allowed trade via the newly discovered route. Unfortunately, by then, the Dutch West Indies Company had claimed the same waters. Footnotes: company had